The last time that I was hosting, I forgot to tell you where you all were. So before we get started, if you would please scan the QR code. This allows the Hoffman Foundation to see that you're here and you're supporting us, and so they continue to support us. We'll show this a couple more times. You're about to get a whole presentation full of QR codes before we get moving. Again, QR codes. You can follow us on LinkedIn. That one's pretty easy to scan over here. Follow us on Instagram. That one's a little harder, but we can get that to you before we leave. And if you want to be a presenter, like our two illustrious ones who are joining us today, you can scan the last QR code. We want to say thank you to our sponsors. Team Working at Tech Nexus has graciously hosted us for the last several months, and they have an offer for a week of free co-working or a 10% discount on the event space. You can click the QR code there, and you can also use the promo code Coffee Club to get your discount. All right, more QR codes. If you want to be a space sponsor, if you have another space for us to be able to gather, you can go ahead and click that one, or a coffee sponsor. Our coffee has been sponsored today by U3 Coffee, and I think that they are coming up on the next slide. Nope, IRO. 1 Million Cups is one of the programs that we administer through the Chicago Tech Collaborative, and there is a digest that comes out every Monday for Chi IRL that tells you all of the tech events that are going on within the tech ecosystem. This one's hard to scan. You can always see Everett. I'm gonna call him out.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to make that look better. If you want to use your website. So.
We're not at WordBox today, so I think that is it for our QR codes. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about 1 Million Cups. It was started by the Hoffman Foundation out of Kansas City in 2012. And the goal is to connect, educate, and inspire entrepreneurs over 1 million cups of coffee. There's over 110 communities throughout the country. This has been going on for the last 13 years, and we've had over 25,000 presentations. So 2 presenters will be joining us today. They're not selling, they're not pitching, but they will give us 6-minute presentations about their products and their services. And then after that, we're gonna pause and give them a pause and 10 minutes of feedback. And then again, I'll remind you to register, and we'll have a few other opportunities to network and to talk about the events that are going on while we're here today. And without further ado, we're going to start with first half. Okay, there we go. All right, give a round of applause and a standing ovation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Whitney Duenas-Richardson, and I am the founder and CEO of Global Sprouts. We are a children's education travel magazine that comes to your mailbox and brings a passport to play every single month. So who am I? I am half Chamorro and half Dutch. I grew up on the island of Guam and moved to the States in 2013. After that, I moved to North Carolina, then Oklahoma, and then Virginia, and now I am in sunny Florida, which is a drastic difference than Chicago weather. I'm freezing cold up here. So I have a daughter who's 3. It's my little model right there. I lived in Europe in 2018 to understand my Dutch side. That's me on Guam, very sassy. My daughter loves to surf, my older sister, and then me when I watch Global Sprouts. And then that's my little sister too. And my dog Mako, like the shark. And so a little bit about my journey and how we got to Global Sprouts was we lost our home in Hurricane Helene in 2024, and this is my second business. I had a fitness studio that I created right after college, sold that during COVID, moved to Florida. And when we lost our home to Hurricane Helene, that was September of 24, and Thanksgiving, we were like, shit, we don't have a house, don't have anything. And my outlet has always been to create and find what I'm passionate for. My daughter was a year and a half, and there weren't any resources to teach her about other cultures specifically. So there was stuff that said, go to France, go to Paris, see the Eiffel Tower, but I wanted to teach her, what do Parisians do? What do they eat? How do they play? How can we take one thing from another culture and incorporate it into our day-to-day life? Which is how Global Sprouts was born. So I wanted to ask a question to you all is, what is one project you remember from childhood that actually stuck with you? Flex down.
That's what I said when we met.
It's kind of similar in that, which is why I'm thinking of it, but I kind of think about Flat Stanley a lot.
Awesome. And you?
The Jason Project, which is like, when I was a kid, I was like in 7th grade. It was like this thing where they set up these satellites and you could see like scientists doing experiments like in that place. Like, yeah, but it was really cool and it really opened my mind to like the world as a child.
That's amazing. And you?
I had a pen pal in France.
Wow. My parents weren't doing cool things like that.
That was my school. It wasn't my parents.
That's awesome. So these little things that we think about from our childhood really stick with us throughout parenthood or throughout our adulthood and parents. And it's funny because as I became a parent, I started looking at my daughter and reliving my childhood through her. And it's really cool. I traveled to, I think it's 18 countries all over Asia living on Guam. And then I traveled to another 20 while I was in Europe. And I wanted my daughter's name is Slater to experience that like I did without traveling with the toddlers. So that's kind of how we became an activity magazine. So today's children are growing up in a globally connected world, but early education isn't reflecting it. So I think it's 15% of US preschools aren't incorporating other countries and cultures into their curriculum. Chicago's a big city, Tampa does a good job, New York does a good job, but a lot of the smaller communities don't have access to those resources, especially resources for smaller countries and cultures. So I'm from the island of Guam, there's like nothing out there. You can Google what is the culture in France, what is that like, but Guam is very challenging to find what do Chamorros do, which are the local people, and how do they interact? Like we use every part of the coconut tree. I know that because I grew up on the island, but a typical American child might not have access to those resources. So this is our passport to play, and it's delivering the world to your doorstep, and it's super cool. They're so colorful, and children love them. We have two different versions. We have an early childhood and an elementary, so 2 through 5 and 6 through 10. We have country discovery pages. Connor's gonna pass some out.
That was my
Listen
cue.
to.
That was my cue.
Culture facts, math and literacy, language exploration, projects, crafts, games, puzzles, recipes, and also a parent's guide, because there was a lack in our generation's education system. So if we don't have the access to the resources about cultures, it's really tough to teach the next generation if we don't learn it ourselves first. So what's working? The passport to play, we actually started with a culture kit that had 6 different tangible items inside of it. And now we're just doing a magazine. Our content and brand voice is doing well. Parents love the concept because we didn't have access to it growing up. And then we have partnerships with museums, restaurants, community activations. There's strong potential for B2B to C. And Globee. So Globee's our little globe mascot. I have a poster, but we got him 3D printed. Getting stuff 3D printed is very expensive. I don't know why, but to get more of these, it was like $450, and that was crazy. And then we also have cultural ambassadors. So we hire or partner with someone from every country to fact check to make sure that we are being culturally appreciative and not appropriating, which is a very fine line to cross, especially being based in the States. And we give back. So we partnered with All the World's Kids. That's Lauren on her expedition to Cambodia to give cleaner water. And we donate a portion of every sale of the magazine back to support the cause. What's not working? So subscription retention, the economy, and which is ironic. I don't like subscribing to things myself, but I do subscribe to things now. And getting people to stay subscribed past 3 months was an issue with the kids, and the magazines were about like at 5 months right now. The customer education gap. So Global Sprouts is trying to be the thought leader in this environment. We changed our marketing from being culture-based to travel-based, which has picked up a lot of more subscribers that want to travel the world instead of saying learning about other cultures. It's just that fine tune of the marketing language. And then converting on our website. I can do a lot of things, but website management is not my forte. So it's 13. I'm the founder. Ann Hampton is our marketing coordinator. Natty is based in Costa Rica, does all of our graphic designing. She's amazing. We see her twice a year. Veronica's our advisor for education and helps us with all of our curriculum to make sure that it's age appropriate. Sean's our score advisor. She's fabulous. Caitlin is our marketing advisor, and then these are some of our cultural ambassadors that we've partnered with. And my ask from everyone here is we have 2 open advisory board positions, and we're looking for legal and accounting help. I do have one meeting with an accountant this afternoon, but we're looking for 3 years of experience. If you know anyone that's passionate about traveling, wants to get involved and make a difference in the next generation, I would be very grateful for that. Any local mom and homeschool groups, and then any collaboration with children-based companies in the area.
All right, questions?
Yes.
Now, when you subscribe, what do you receive? Just the magazine, or is there any other? Okay.
So you can do the magazine. We had the culture kits at first, and our goal is, because these magazines were doing so well, and that's what all the parents were keeping out of the kit, is to offer an upsell version to where you can add that tangible item. The reason we kind of shifted away from the kit was feedback, and also we're doing smaller cultures, and Lesotho is a great example, is all of their toys and tangible items are made from natural materials, and they were getting stuck in customs, leaving Lesotho and getting stuck in customs here. And my main goal and reasoning was I wanted to support these other countries, especially the ones that need the additional financial help, but they use the natural materials, and it's just crazy logistically. Yes.
How much does one copy cost to produce?
$15. Oh, to produce $1.50.
Oh, okay, wow. Have you thought about, I know it's cliche, but just standing outside Millennium Park and handing them out to people that look like they have kids that would benefit from it?
I was telling Connor, I've seen 3 kids yesterday.
Yeah.
It was also very cool, and I get that. I have these little, and I'm gonna leave these, you guys can take these home if you have children. I have these little grab bags with a flag, a culture card, and a sticker that I was gonna pass out. But yeah, that's.
But yeah, because Millennium Park and Grant Park have very easy rules about like solicitation. As long as they don't say no, you can offer them a thing,
Okay.
right? And it's funny, you can thank the religious zealots for this because they had the city pass this new rule because they were asking people their religious stuff, and the city's like, well, as long as they say yes, you can give them a thing.
Okay.
If they say no, you have to leave them alone in the park. It's a very simple rule. So like you do well to just take a big box of these and just fucking hand them out right outside of Grant Park.
I'll do it. I'll be there.
Also, we don't.
You can pay me, I'll do it for you.
Yesterday, you only saw 3 kids. Yesterday was a school day and birthday, so.
So that's a good.
And I especially, like, if it's gonna be nice this weekend. I actually have to weather, but, if you're here, because I know you said you're based in Florida, but, every day where it's like kind of nice in this part of the year, people are out outside. Yeah. Yes.
I love what you're doing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Your story is compelling too. I was curious. Have you considered like partnerships with museums or like those kind of children? As I was thinking about Lady Pier, as you were talking about Millennium Park. Like, hey, there's a lot of kids specific things there, and so just curious, like, what's that strategy there?
So we've partnered with the Children's Museum of Greenville, and I'm going to meet with the Children's Museum of Chicago on Friday. And Greenville, it's really cool. They have this huge airplane exhibit that's probably the length of this room, and so Global Scouts is sponsoring that. And Bloby will be sitting in the like pilot chair driving the airplane. I'm super excited. He'll be the little pilot. And that launches in May, and we're doing Germany. So our Germany issue is releasing in June, and it's like a huge partnership with the Children's Museum.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
You should also look into, there are other, like not just the Children's Museum, but like the Nature Museum in Chicago is also a kids museum.
Okay.
There are some like private museums that are not through the city, like there's one called,
I think there's Little Play. There's like a play museum.
I
too.
don't have kids, so I'm not entirely sure, but I know there's like a slime museum and there's like, which is, you know, these things are maybe less relevant directly to what you're offering,
It's still a good
but
place
it's
to-
worth asking. They may have resources, they may have metrics.
Perfect, yeah.
And also, you said you're having trouble with conversion on your website. I have a UX background and I'm happy to take one.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yes.
I'm curious because you mentioned that originally people kind of like stopped the subscription after about 3 months, but now you've increased it to about 5 months. What changed in that period?
So the kits were a 3-month churn rate, and those were $46.99 if you subscribe, or $39.99 with free shipping. And when we moved to the magazine for $15 a month, so I think the economic and the price point is just easier for them to stay subscribed.
Do you ever ask them if this is like the people who stay on the magazine, for example, if it's just ideas that they're getting out of these things and then implementing them themselves, or where the friction for them after 5 months is really?
So I don't have the data for that just yet. To be honest, we just launched just the Passport to Play like last month. We tried to do a Kickstarter that was an absolute dud. And now May is our true first issue, and we're doing Hawaii with the 2 different age groups. And we'll have more data after that. But I know the kits, I'm not gonna lie. So we launched our first box set last April. We did pre-sales. May we sent our first box of 25. And I'm very big in strategy, but for some reason I didn't sit down and map out the 12 countries at first. I kind of just did it as I felt like I could do it. And then there's like 6 pairs of scissors and like 6 things of paint. So every month you are getting scissors for 2 months. And parents are like, I don't need 6 pairs of scissors. So then I was like, okay, how can we differentiate the craft kit so that we're not incorporate or sending out the same materials month over month?
It's like a hard problem to solve.
I think
That's not
online
more.
they could choose what they want for that month. That would be easier.
Yes, but logistically hard
Yeah.
And
to
it's
like
also a-
choose the different options than just sending everyone the same thing.
Cole's Children's Museum, it's another children's museum in the suburbs.
Okay.
They have a lot of programming affiliates, so I would definitely reach out to them.
Thank you. Last one.
So did you run an ads campaign?
I did.
Okay.
So we spent probably the first 8 months, $25,000 on ads, and the ROAS just wasn't there.
Okay, and did you do remarketing campaigns as well? Because I'm a grandparent, and so I get all of these types of things in my Facebook feed constantly. So it's good to see like what the differences are and what you guys do over something else. Because I am going to subscribe. My granddaughter's 5, so I am going to be subscribing to something relatively soon, and I like to see like the differences. And we don't go to the museums unless
Right.
she's here. Like I don't go to those unless she's here. So for me, it would be like ads.
I think the ads, so I'm traditionally from a marketing background, and ads and email campaigns have always been my favorite thing to do. I wanted to scale back from ads until we had a good amount of subscribers so that we can
Use that as
like a
retargeting.
lookalike audience. And I wanted to really understand what my consumer was doing. In the first year, honestly, I felt like I was throwing a bunch of shit at the wall to see what stuck. And then I read The Road Less Stupid. It's a really good book, and he was like, you're throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, you're right, I've been doing it wrong. Let me scale back and figure out some more strategic things.
You need to focus on the grandparents because the parents already have enough to worry about. Focus on marketing to the grandparents because we're the ones that are like, what do we buy?
And
What do they like?
grandpas,
What do
because grandpas are really mean on ads. Grandpas are like, we don't need to teach our kids about the world. They're the worst.
Who is?
Grandparents, grandpas. Grandpas are great. They're like, this is fabulous. And then you get like the old 75-year-old white guy on Facebook.
I'd be like, I'm sorry you're bored, sweeties.
Yeah. The worst. But yes, thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, let's give Whitney a standing Thank you. While you're switching over, any events for the week? Everett? Anything?
There's there's a bunch at the Chicago Innovation Center this week, which is Chicago's up and coming hub for tech stuff. Tonight, Hugo and oh man, I'm blanking on her name. Anyway, they're doing a thing about how they got jobs at Chicago Innovation Center. So if you're trying to get a job and you want to hear from people who got one. Next Wednesday, AI Collective has the first OpenClaw event that I think has happened in Chicago because we're scared of OpenClaws here. And Code and Coffee on Sunday, also at the CIC, 2 p.m.
Everett, what's an open claw?
It's nothing to be, it's something to be afraid of. Oh, don't worry about it.
Ready for AI.
It's an assistant, it's a, AI assistant. Yeah, come to the event. We're gonna be demoing it.
CJ?
I have 4 business and professional networking events coming up. Thursday at the Drake Hotel in Oak Brook. There'll be free food. It's really nice if you've never been there. April 2nd, 16th, and 22nd. Our friend over at ML Tunes has been to one. You'll be in front of 100 people and you'll get to practice all the talking. So it's really good. You'll see a lot of people from various industries. It's only $24, but if you come and talk to me, I will give you a ticket to an event.
All right. And we have Tech Walk on Tuesday at Navy Pier inside. It's still a bit cold outside, so 5:30 on Tuesday evening. And with that, we're gonna welcome Anand Agarwal.
Thank you all. Really appreciate it. I don't know if I can follow what I did, but I'll do my best. So my name is Vinod Agarwal. My background is in engineering. Me and my son started Kisipur Robotics, that's him by the way, when he was junior in high school. He's now doing his engineering at Purdue University and he's finishing up sophomore year. So it's been about 4 years now. Some little story behind it. My son, he was in robotics team in school ever since he was in elementary and middle school. And my background in engineering, I was tinkering with robots at home just for fun. I used to be a math tutor also, by the way. So I worked with children quite a bit. And when he got to junior year, he was looking for a passion project. And he was learning robotics with me. And one day he said, like, well, Dad, I'm looking for a project and I have a great idea. Could turn into a business as well. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. So basically he said, and this was my observation working with some of the school teams as well, is he felt that there was a gap in what we were doing in schools. Those programs were great, nothing wrong with them. But the majority of the time, kids were given basically pre-made kits, robotic kits, and they were basically following the instructions and putting some simple robots together. But they weren't really learning how the robots really work, what kind of components you need, how do you really design your own robot, what fits together. They were all basically simple for them, they're just connecting the wires. So he said, we wanted to design our own robotic kit. So I helped him design one of the first robotic kit, that's that the drumming robot. And I helped him get started with just doing some few classes, and he got invited to the library and several other events. And there definitely was a lot of interest. Kids really loved to build this robot and learning every single aspect of it, from individual components to designing, prototyping, building the robot, and basically programming a little bit too. So there was definitely a lot of interest, and we started talking to different organizations. Is this something you can use at your place for the kids that you serve? And they said, sure. So we did lots of free workshops in the beginning, and they said, do you have something more on an ongoing basis? So that's basically how the Kids Explore Robotics was born, out of that simple idea. We decided to design more robots. Today, we have 3 years later, we have about 30 different designs. Every single design we have is very unique, and we follow what we call an open concept design, meaning there's nothing hidden behind the scene. Kids get to experience every single part of the robot, right from the individual component to learning about how those components work, how do you put them together, how do you build different structures. So they're really learning more fundamental ways, not just simply putting the robotic kit together. And that resonates really well. 3 years later, here we are. We work with a lot of different organizations. So that was the problem we were trying to solve. And as I mentioned, we wanted to give kids a little bit more hands-on approach where they're not just simply putting things together, they're actually learning. When they're doing this, it's helping them spark their curiosity, it helps them with their creativity, and definitely it increases their confidence also. So what do? Well, we do lots of different things. We offer weekly robotics classes now. We have summer camps. This will be our 4th year of summer camp season. We do lots of different special workshops as well as events. We do offer filters. Now we have our own center that we opened recently. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. We even host them birthdays, and we expanded into the math classes also. As I mentioned, I used to be a math tutor. I have developed my own math curriculum. So the robotics obviously uses math. It's all area of STEM, so we do math classes also. How do we do this? And who do we serve? We partner with a lot of different organizations. That's how we got started. There are a lot of nonprofit organizations, libraries, museums, parks and rec. Then there are a few others I don't know here, but there's lots of different organizations that we partner with to deliver our programming. And that has been probably the biggest portion of our business. But about 2 years ago, we started offering our own private classes. So we reach out to the individual families, they sign up for the classes. Up until now, we were doing in different locations where we were renting the spaces for our private classes in camps. However, now we recently opened our own STEM center in Carmel, Indiana. And we have appeared on TV a couple times already. We had a Carmel mayor visit us and supporting us. There's nothing like what we have in that area at all. So I think it's starting to get noticed, and as more families find out about us, obviously we'll get more families to subscribe to our services. It's a monthly plan basically, and they can continue for as many months as you want. Just little pictures, few pictures of our STEM center, and there is a video. It's about 25 seconds. So I can, where is it?
Is that the top?
This one? Let me just show you the quick video. So this is our STEM center. It opened just on the 5th of March.
Congratulations.
So we have tinker room, those 3 tables. Kids get on that. All right, so just real quickly, at the STEM center, we have expanded beyond robotics. As you know, robotics is more than just robotics. It uses all areas of STEM. So we opened up a separate zone for each STEM area, so kids can learn a little bit more about each one of those areas. We have design labs, so kids get to experience the entire process, not only witness it, but if they have an idea of creating their own robot, we help them bring those ideas to life. So we invite a lot of families to visit our STEM center. We filter that I mentioned, we are working with the schools, nonprofit organizations that serve kids, homeschool groups, and we already have a few scheduled for the next few months. So we're going to continue to work with a lot of different organizations to make sure that people actually know about us and go from there. I think that's most of it. So impact so far. Go ahead. Okay. So last year, we served about 800 total kids. Most of that was through partnerships. I would say probably less than 20% of them were through our own private camps and classes. But majority of that number was through the partnerships with different organizations. We hosted many, many different camps, workshops in different locations, and we have gotten a really, really strong feedback from the parents and the students equally. They really like what we have, and we will continue to capitalize on that. So what are we doing? Well, we want to expand into multiple locations. So right now, we serve mostly the Indianapolis area, while we have our own center. That's not the only place where kids come. We continue to go with different partners and at their locations to deliver programming. The reason I'm here is obviously I'm looking at different geography to expand into, Chicago being one market. Been to Chicago like a million times over the last 20 years that I've been here. Like Chicago market, lots of friends, families. So I definitely want to expand into the Chicago market. There are lots of different organizations that serve kids in this area, obviously. If I can get partnerships going with at least 1 or 2 for this summer, we are able to bring our team to deliver the summer programming to them without necessarily having our own center here. We do that already, but most of the time we are traveling in about hour and a half distance area. Chicago is only 3 hours. So I can bring the team here, let them stay here for the whole week and deliver the programming with whatever organization they are partner with. So that's definitely I need some help with.
How can we help with that?
So if you have any connections to any different organizations that serve kids, whether it's a nonprofit organization, museums, I'd like to make those connections and see if you can at least do a demo for them and get something going.
What's the age range you're looking at?
6 years and older typically. I would say most of the time it's elementary and middle school. Occasionally we get some high school kids also, but probably less than 10% of our kids are high school level. Occasionally we get younger kids also. We don't necessarily say no, but younger kids less than 6, they're going to have a little bit different take on it. So,
All right, before we launch into any more questions, let's give him a round of applause.
Yes.
Have you tried to maybe make it a new curriculum for a school? Like, you know, they have math, biology, and the things about.
great one. So we are partnering with the schools. As a matter of fact, we have a contract with one of the schools, it's a charter school, and we already teach during their normal school hours. So they have a special days for enrichment, 3 days a week, and we go and teach at those schools. The curriculum we have could be applied for the school also. Yes, we can make a little tweak if needed, but we are already working with the school, and we will continue to expand, of course, yeah.
I'm gonna give you an information of someone that is doing
Awesome.
coding for kids in the schools. And
Awesome.
they wanna do that here in the
We'd love to hear.
CPS.
Absolutely. We'd love to partner.
Ajay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, question. What about after-school programs, just to add on to it? Do you guys work with after-school programs? Have your own after-school
So,
program?
so most of the nonprofit organizations we work with is for after-school program.
Okay.
So they have kids going into their location for after-school programming as well as summer programming, so we do both.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that answer it?
Yeah. How successful have you been with that? Have you been able to use that as a reference
That
for
is-
other
Yes, absolutely.
organizations? Okay.
So last year, the number I mentioned, 800 kids,
Yeah.
I would say about 75%, 80% of the kids were from those nonprofit organizations that serve kids after school or during summer programming. So that has been a huge success for us. And I am attending, actually I attended last year also, there's something called Indiana Out of School Network. It's a huge organization that works with the providers of, basically service providers for these kids after school program. So I'm attending another event with them in April, and I'm getting a lot of connections to that. So in my inventory today, we have probably about 100 contacts. We've been able to partner with about 15 to 16 of them so far. So there's still a lot of opportunity just in the context that I have, but more obviously. And I want to do the same thing in Chicago market, partner with those organizations to be able to deliver our goal.
Just a general comment, maybe a question. Is it interesting to know how many of the kids you've served have been pushed in to go into First Robotics, for instance, is kind of that large national organization? So that
It is.
That's something of interest to find out maybe from the parents or families.
Absolutely. So a lot of the kids we serve, it helps them build a really strong foundation that they can apply towards the school more competitive robotic teams as well. Okay. So we can talk more about that in some extra curriculum. What other questions?
I was gonna say, our guests will be here for a few minutes. Afterwards, feel free to stay, hang out, co-work. We wanna make sure that we have time for pictures before we close up. So again, give both of our guests, both Whitney and Vinod, a round of applause.